Hey guys, what's up? It's Baller. Welcome you back to another Pokemon TCG Pocket video. This is just off the tail end of the Pokemon Presents that we had for Pokemon Day, and we did, of course, get an announcement for a brand new set coming to Pokemon TCG Pocket, which is Triumphant Light. This is a theme booster pack that is pretty much extending from Spacetime Smackdown and is going to be featuring Arceus, and we'll go ahead and get to him right now. So Arceus EX is the main showstopper for this set. With the ability Fabled Luster, this Pokemon can be affected by any status conditions, which can be pretty helpful. And Ultimate Force for 70 damage, 3 energies, all colorless, so you can run any kind of energy. And the effect is this attack does 20 more damage for each of your bench Pokemon. So the maximum amount of damage that you can do with this move is 130, and that is pretty good. I think that this is a super solid pick for any deck that just wants to cheat out energies. If you use something like Manaphy even, that'll boost up Arceus EX really fast. You'll be able to get them out, and it really doesn't take you anything to actually put Pokemon on your bench. So that's going to be a really easy 130 damage that you're able to attain within about 2 turns, I'd say. I think this is also a good bit better than Pidgeot EX for 2 reasons. 1, it's a basic Pokemon, obviously, makes it much easier to play around. And 2 is that Pidgeot EX's move is based on your opponent's bench Pokemon. This overall will be easier to control, and I do think that this will be an incredibly strong pick, especially for a lot of generic decks. If you're just trying to run a Pokemon that can do a lot of damage and then play around like a separate strategy, I think Arceus EX fits that slot immensely. We also have the tease of a bunch of cards that basically play around Arceus EX. Each ability ends with the word Link, and a lot of them do actually share the same ability, so you can kind of build around one strategy if you'd like to. So the first couple we can go over are Power Link. If you have an Arceus or Arceus EX in play, attacks used by this Pokemon do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Pretty good in general. I don't know how frequently we're going to see that on Pokemon like Tyranitar, since that's just a lot of energies you have to dedicate to a Pokemon that's not Arceus. And then you also have Resilience Link. If you have Arceus or Arceus EX in play, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. The Raichu in particular, I am curious to see if this will have any play. The Magnezone being metal, I think, will make it harder to play around because you still need 2 metal energies, and if you're generating electric energies with Magneton, then you're still going to need manual attaches of metal energies, and in hindsight, it should be a better Pokemon than the other Magnezone we have, since it can take less damage, stay on the field for longer, but the problem is that you aren't going to get as many KOs. And with the second group, we have Speed Link. So if you have Arceus or Arceus EX in play, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. Heatran and Rotom having this, pretty neat. Heatran really does benefit from this since it has 3 retreat costs, but Rotom having this does not seem very useful at all. It means you don't have to use an X-Speed or a Energy detach to retreat, but the fact of the matter is Rotom's dash attack is not really doing a whole lot. 28 damage to just 1 bench Pokemon? That's a pretty big risk for a Pokemon that's also as frail as it is, so I can't say much about Rotom right now. This one may be the weakest one of the bunch. Then we have Crobat with a Cunning Link. Once during your turn, if you have Arceus or Arceus EX in play, you can do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. This is a very, very good ability. The fact that it's on a stage 2 makes it a little bit more difficult to play around because you have to get further into the evolution line to get this, but I think that this probably can be something that can be run. Realistically, I expect you to be attaching energies to Arceus EX, and then on the bench, you'll just be going through the Zubat line, so Zubat, Golbat, Crobat, and then once it's evolved, you can continue doing even more damage and probably get some pretty early KOs. I also think it's got a decent enough attack too. Just for 1 energy, you do 50 damage, which means you can also just do 80 damage in 1 turn with Crobat if you need to. Kind of mimicking a good bit of what Greninja is capable of. And then we have Abomasnow's Vigor Link. If you have Arceus or Arceus EX, your attacks will cost 1 less energy, which is useful. I don't really know if this is going to be a super big standout. 80 damage is good, and 120 for a stage 1 is also good, but we'll just have to wait and see. As for other cards, we are shown Garchomp EX, has 170 HP, is a fighting type, and has the linear attack, does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. This is very useful as it can target pretty much any Pokemon, and 50 damage is nothing to slouch at. A lot of basic Pokemon can go down from that. And then Dragon Claw, that's a bit more of an underwhelming ability. I do think if you do pair this with a Lucario deck though, doing 120 damage for 3 energies is not something out of the ordinary. I think we'll have to see how Garchomp EX likes to play, but again, I do actually think that the 50 damage linear attack just for 1 energy, it can matter a lot just because you're able to snipe Pokemon without the need for Sabrina or Cyrus. We are then shown a sneak peek of Adaman and Irida. We can actually get the full text from this, but please just trust me because otherwise you're going to have to be reading the sideways. For Adaman, it says during your opponent's next turn, all of your metal Pokemon take 20 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. And then Irida, heal 40 damage from each of your Pokemon that have any water energy attached. This, I think, can actually be really, really abused. And this is really because of two things. One is because Irida's clause specifies that it's water energy, not water type Pokemon. And we also have Manaphy who can attach water energies as much as they want to non-water type Pokemon as well. So I do think that there can be a big strategy around here because Erica in the grass decks does tend to see a lot of play. You have these big HP Pokemon, you're able to heal them up easily, and then Irida in particular, it doesn't just heal one Pokemon, it heals every Pokemon that has water energy attached. So I think we will definitely see a big stall deck kind of revolving around this strategy in the very near future. Then the other two EXs that we are shown are Leafeon EX with 140 HP as grass type, of course, and also has the ability Forest Breath. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may take a grass energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your Pokemon. I said it once in a previous video, and I'll say it again. Any Pokemon with energy acceleration is a must-have for these kinds of decks. Just getting energies out early and cheating them out is always going to be good. And even though Leafeon EX is a stage 1 Pokemon, I think that you can very easily build around this. And so for Pokemon maybe like Celebi, you could actually run a Leafeon EX deck in Celebi EX instead of Superior, just to kind of try and skip out on that stage 2 Pokemon. Solar Beam for 70 is just okay, but considering that you could put those energies on the Leafeon EX, I think that that's probably as balanced as you can make it. And then we have Glaceon EX specifically showing the beautiful rainbow art. So water type has 140 HP and the ability is snowy terrain during Pokemon checkup. If this Pokemon is in the active spot, do 10 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. This is a little underwhelming. I can kind of see how you might be able to pair it with other status conditions so that way you can just do extra damage during the turn. 10 damage frequently can be the difference between a win and a loss, but the problem is that you're putting in Glaceon EX with the intention of getting this ability off, but you're also risking yourself 2 points if it gets KO'd. I think this is a really risky play. The only saving grace I really see is that it's weak to metal, because I guess it's more closer to an ice type, you know, not gonna be a weak to electric. But in any case, I mean, it seems okay, and the freezing wind for 90 is also fine. As a stage 1 Pokemon, this isn't too out of the ordinary, but overall, I'm a little bit more underwhelmed with this one, but that's just because Leafeon EX's ability is so incredibly good. So in the other trailer, you have Shaman, which has the Sky Support ability. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, your active basic Pokemon's retreat cost is 1 less, and then has the attack flap for 30 damage, also has 70 HP, and is just a colorless Pokemon. This seems okay. I think that the ability allowing 1 less retreat cost is very good, but the problem is it does have the limitation of being specific to basic Pokemon. I do think that we could see some cheeky strategies with this down the line, but I don't know how powerful this is right now. And then we have Unknown with the ability check once per turn. You may choose either player. Look at the top of their player's deck. I think this in particular could be an extremely powerful ability if there was some sort of deck control at the moment, whether it's part of a mill strategy or actually forcing your opponent to draw into things that they don't need. I'm not really sure, but things like this in the past and in other TCGs have been good, and Unknown does facilitate that to some extent. So it has potential. I don't see it being played much right now though. But that is about all that I can glean from these trailers. There have been some more Pokemon that you can peek at in the trailers, but not really anything super significant that I feel like talking about. And at the very end of the trailer, we got 2 more surprises. Got a special gift of 3 packs, which will guarantee you a 4 diamond or higher rarity. This is just really nice. I don't really know that this was necessary, but especially for Pokemon Day, I can see why they'd be incentivized to do so. And a ranked mode will actually be available at the end of March. I have had fun with battling in Pokemon TCG Pocket, but I think it will require a couple more sets before I really find it interesting. The fact that they have incorporated tools now gives a lot more layers of strategy. And I think once we see stadiums, if those do come along, that'll also be another big thing for me as well. But I think that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Hopefully you're having a fantastic night or day where you may be, and I hope to see you next time. See ya!